would you want to be the leader of this country?
Absolutely.
Citizen TV's journalist and news anchor Yvonne Okwara found herself in a tight corner with Kenyans on Tuesday night following a viral interview with the businessman Jimi Wanjigi. The interview was highly anticipated following the events of last week when police officers raided the 2022 presidential candidate's home in Muthaiga, leaving his family in utter trauma. Known for her professionalism and experience in handling high-profile interviews, Kenyans were eager to listen to what Yvonne would get out of Wanjigi and maybe try to explain as to why the government seems to be interested in silencing him. The interview started well, with Yvonne Okwara creating some good questions, but however, it would turn out to be a combat of words as Yvonne seemed to forget her role in being the moderator and made it a heated debate, thus interrupting her guest annoyingly.
And the laws of Kenya say this: you can only borrow for development. You cannot borrow for anything else other than if you have short-term cash flow problems.
But if you follow on that theory of ODS debt...
Before they loan us about the Eurobonds that came from their countries.
So even all of the conditions, the preconditions that IMF puts in terms of making sure that the funds are used for development and for their intended purpose.
They would be asking questions about our domestic debt. You don't think they're asking
questions about that?
No, I don't believe they are.
Now on their seventh review?
Why are they giving us money?
Okay.
Even them, even
so then what are you saying? They're in collusion with this administration?
This so-called, yes, absolutely. Even
so
this
IMF,
seventh
World
review.
Bank, China?
No, I don't know about China. I can talk about SGR with China.
Okay. So who do you have a problem with respect to the debt that we've had?
I'll tell you. Two pockets. What is called London Club, which houses the Eurobonds and the syndicated loans, and our domestic debt, which is now 5.4 trillion. All right? It is not anchored anywhere in law.
And the IMF and the World Bank
the IMF, because they continually support a regime that has perpetuated economic impunity and economic genocide on the people of Kenya.
This did not go unnoticed, and immediately her name was trending on X as many shared their disappointment in what felt like a disservice from Mrs. Okwara. Here are some of the reactions from X. Chris said, perfectly and boldly articulated. Jimi Wanjigi, even Yvonne Okwara, a lawyer, appears unable to absorb Jimmy's boldness to push the seams of the law of the ant. Another person said, Jimi is informed, but Yvonne is trying to bring an argument instead of a discussion. Another user said, this was on another level. If I were the interviewer, I would have just sat down to take notes and stop interfering my guest. Yes, I'm trying to look, Miss Okwara must go. Jeff should have done this interview. Yes, those are some of the reactions with people feeling that maybe Yvonne Okwara did not carry this interview professionally, because there's a person here, African Sun, said, when I look at the interview between Olive Barrows and Kasamuel, and now this between my president and Yvonne Okwara, it tells me media ilieko kwa mfuko kitambo, especially Citizen TV. Those are just some of the opinions from guys. Papsi said, Yvonne asking nonsense questions on a subject matter she clearly doesn't understand. We are seeing this. Yvonne, stop it. Let the man speak. Those are some of the reactions, because people were feeling maybe Yvonne Okwara tried to become more, she's engaged Wanjigi in a more maybe aggressive way rather than let him speak and share his points. Rose said Yvonne Okwara is not doing justice to Jimi. She's not letting the viewers follow the conversation with her unnecessary constant interruptions. Another person said, Yvonne, you are a poor listener today. Then here another person said, Jimi Wanjigi for president like yesterday. Another person said, Citizen TV, your journalists are underperforming. First Olive Barrows, and now it's Yvonne Okwara, a person we trust to do such good interviews. What has happened today? She is clearly interrupting and trying to push an agenda, and we cannot respect that. Another person said, normally I respect Yvonne. Today she has done a disservice. She should have let Jimmy elaborate more, less the interruptions. Yes, these are some of the another person, Jacob Koril, said this: why doesn't Citizen TV bring in treasury guys to sit across from Jimmy and match so that we can get real-time information? Yvonne is busy questioning him with an already premeditated trajectory of questioning. Aizo said, Yvonne Okwara jameni, let Jimmy articulate his sentiments and his well-revised submissions. He is a man on a mission to educate the larger population on what is happening. Let him put forward his submissions without your interruption. Today you have been too much. McKenna said, I don't normally watch news, but I am following Jimmy after watching Lynn Ngugi interview. I don't understand, Yvonne. Are they arguing or is she interviewing the man? Agile said, Yvonne, for goodness sake, are you on battleground? You can't even answer a simple question from Mr. Jimi Wanjigi. Maggie said, Yvonne, what's wrong with you? And Yvonne, allow Jimmy to speak up. You keep interrupting, which is not healthy. Yes, those are just some of the reactions. People really didn't like the way Yvonne Okwara did her interview, but we all know she's a profession, and maybe we'll never know why she interrupted Jimi Wanjigi. Maybe it was just try to get him to service points out in the submission in a more clear way. Otherwise, you guys can drop your comments down below in the comment sections. I'm sorry guys, I'm having a bit of a flow here, that's why you can feel my voice. I'm struggling and I have to drink some water to be able to bring this news to you. But thank you so much guys for watching. Keep subscribing to my channel and make sure to keep working hard to make sure you guys are informed.
If you were president, because you tried to run for president in 2022, if you were president today, what would be the 1, 2, 3 things that you would do to solve the crisis in the country?
I'll tell you. The first thing is that I would cut off the chain of debt. Because I want you to understand that in as much as all this is going on, I told you we only had a deficit of 1.3. Kenyans, up until today, have paid 9.8 trillion towards that debt and still owe 11 trillion. It is something I would cut off like yesterday. And that frees up government money to be able to provide services to Kenyans and stimulate the economy by taking money back to the people. And that is what you call now economic liberation. The one thing that has not been understood by many people up until today is what period we're in. We went through the political rights period, which is about cutting up this cake for seats, as they are trying to do now. Nobody cares about it because we passed it.